Alright guys, decided to do a mini bike video. We actually got this mini bike. It's like a mini Harley-Davidson. We got it from my uncle, and it was a two-stroke mini bike. I'll show you how we got it. I already cut off the right here sat like a battery box, and the wires would sit in here. I cut those off already. We took the engine out, and I'm gonna cut off these old tabs here because the old engine hung. And what I'm thinking about is I have a 212 from the drift trike, and I'm gonna see if we could get that fitted in here, because then I think it'd be easier to get that going. And plus I figured Timmy could ride this because it's a little bigger, and so we're going to kind of do this the way he wants to. So as of right now, I'm going to cut these off and see how well that engine fits, and then pretty much go from there. The frame does have a lot of rust. We're going to have to address that. And the brake here is seized, and it's a disc brake but with a hydraulic. The back brake works, but yeah, so everything, when we got it, everything was pretty much there minus the seat, but we're gonna change that up. So hope you guys enjoy this video. So guys, I got the tabs cut off and I got the engine just setting in. It's not where it's going to be, but I'm going to have to I got this metal plate here. I'm going to weld kind of halfway between this bar and this, so the engine could kind of sit a little lower, because these will touch. But I'll probably change out the carburetor and go into a header, so then the muffler won't be in the way either. So I think this will probably be the best bet for the engine. So I'm going to make the engine mount for this style engine, so I could get a Predator for this, and then it will just bolt in. Now the only issue is as you see, this tiny sprocket here. So we're going to probably have to try to figure out a jack shaft, or see if we could just flop the tire so the sprocket is on this side. But the only downfall with that is the brake here. I don't know if we would, so if anything, we'll just try to figure out a jack shaft. So that's where we're at now. But I'll put the tank on so you could kind of get an idea on how it looks, and then we'll just have to make a custom seat for it. And so that's where we're at right now. So hopefully we can figure out this jack shaft thing and a sprocket that would fit that, because this being a two-stroke, the teeth are a lot smaller, so I'm guessing the bolt patterns are different too for this, so we'll have to figure that out as well. So now I'll probably add the plate, probably start taking more apart so I could fix and paint the frame. Alright guys, so Timmy and I had Timmy help me tear this apart. We took it all apart. I grabbed a box, put all the small pieces in this box, got the fenders and the tank up there. And the tank is actually just a cover, but you still got that, front forks. And we're going to be having an issue. Well, not really a big issue, but so the back tire sits and the sprocket is on the right side. So the sprocket is on this side of the frame, and the sprocket on the engine is on this side. So we're going to try to, and the thing is there's a drum brake on the back. So what we're going to try to do is, when I go over things and make sure everything is solid, no holes or anything, I'm going to put the back end back on and then put the tire on and figure out a way to mount the tire this way, like instead of it like this, I'll have it like this. So then the sprocket is on the same side as where the engine is. And then what I want to do, or what I want to do, is make a bracket for the drum brake. And we want to see if it works, which we think it will, because instead of it pulling this way, it'll just have to pull from this way, and it should still work if it doesn't hit anything. So we think it'd just be easier to flip it and then get this sprockets all on the same side. So that's what we're going to shoot for. But if anything, we'll figure out the jack shaft, but hoping the tire could be rotated. So I think what I'll do is I'll have Timmy sand some stuff and wire wheel some stuff, and then I'm going to figure out this back tire situation. So that's probably what I'll do. Alright guys, so I did some more work off camera, and as you see, I got the fenders on, the handlebars, the brake. I ended up having to buy a new brake lever because the old one was seized bad. Cleaned up the pegs, painted the brakes, got a new sprocket, flipped the tire around, and right now I'm working on the exhaust. But before I work on the exhaust, I'm going to kind of bolt the engine in and try to get the sprocket and on the back and the front lined up before I do the exhaust anymore, just so I know how everything has to set. But so far, here's how it's looking, and we're gonna probably have to make a seat, and we're already coming up with some ideas. Matthew has a chopper as well, and this is the style seat that's supposed to sit on it. So it sits like so. So we're going to probably either use that as a template to kind of get that same look, but probably add a little more. And my uncle, because he's the one that gave us this, he made a sissy bar for it, and we're going to make a new one, but we're thinking of raising it up so it sits up higher. And this wasn't a two-stroke, so the tank on it, the setup on the tank, it had like two fuel lines coming out into the engine, and I'm thinking if we could possibly use that for this, like if there's a way we could use that, but not 100% sure. So if any, for right now, it's going to look just be like decorations for it. So I'm waiting for the front brake lever, and then I'm going to line up the engine and the chain. So hopefully soon this will be complete. All right, guys, so I finished the bike, so I'm gonna bring you to it and show you what I got. Alright guys, so I'm going to do a little walk around, show you what I've done and what I got to do pretty much. So, from starting from the front to the back, you know the drill. So, a lot of the stuff we reused. The only things that I had to buy was uh, this and the chain and the sprocket. Other than that, we had everything. So, this was a pretty simple build. Uh, so we're starting the front. It's the original front tire. I just cleaned it. Same with the fender. I did paint the front end. I do got to repaint it because as putting him back on, it did kind of damage it. These I painted black to match the frame. The frame's a satin black. Then up here, I painted black as well. So then you got up here, you got the grips, which are original, just clean them. And then the new brake lever for the front brake. Gas tank is original. Harley-Davidson sticker is original, just glued it back on. Got to glue it a little better, but it is what it is. The seat, as of right now, I'm borrowing Matthew's from his mini bike, but it fit, so I just used it to do some test riding. And I actually did end up changing into jeans because I ended up burning my shorts, but I'll get to that when we get to the other side. I am using a 212 Predator engine. It has the stock carburetor. The airbox wasn't able to fit, so I just took it off, but we're gonna either try to make something or get one of those like pod things. Uh, Original back tire. I just flipped it and then welded this here to hold the back brake. We're debating on re-adding the sissy bar that it had or building something new for it. As you see, there's a hole here. It came up here. But we are building the seat, so after we do that, we'll probably see how it looks and then decide when that happens. Back fender is the same. Just took off stickers and cleaned it up. And then on this side, grip again, it's good. Sticker glued back on. Got the clutch, chain, sprocket, and this exhaust. As you see, burned my shorts there, so I changed into pants. This exhaust, what I did was where the original muffler was, I cut that off and got some conduit, some thicker conduit, cut slats in it, bent it to follow and go with the frame, and then cut it at an angle back here. And so that's what we've done. And what we're planning on doing is I want to add a light to it. Before it had this a flat base and a huge light, and I want to change that because I like the way this looks, like the openness. So I'm going to make a mount and add a smaller light for it. And then right here, the old tank that was in it, I cut it off, so this is just loose, but I cut it off so it looks like a gas tank. But I'm going to add the battery underneath here so it's hidden, so we could have lights, and maybe if we eventually do, we could add tail lights and stuff like that. And I almost forgot, so our kill switch is here, right? So you got the on and off for the regular, but I was thinking if Timmy or Matthew or anybody else wants to ride and something happens, and instead of them having to reach down and grab this, the original starter switch or button is now the kill switch. So I'll show you guys that. I'll run the engine and then show you the kill switch. So there's running. So we got the kill switch up here, and I just wired it in with this. So we got this now as more of a key, so now no one could come up and start it. But if we're riding around and something happens, we can kill it up here. So guys, there it is. I hope you enjoyed the video. This was actually a pretty fun build. This was actually my cousin's when he was younger. My uncle gave it to us, and before it didn't run, there was a lot missing. So thank you, Uncle Dave, for trusting us with it pretty much. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed your cruise down to Lashment Road.